Well, here we are at a very special motor racing venue. The closest race circuit to London was here at Crystal Palace. But it can still be a motor racing venue, can't it?
It certainly can. We're planning to reopen in 2010 with a sprint meeting here, which will be 10 years after the last sprint meeting that we held here in 2000. The track closed down in 72, and our first meeting here, which was in 97, was the 25th anniversary of that closure, and it was held on the same bank holiday weekend, and we ran for 4 years. Unfortunately then plans of Bromley Council were such that they wanted to make modifications to the park, part of a millennium scheme, which meant that maybe it wasn't quite conducive to motorsport again. But we were approached back in 2006 by the London Development Agency to see whether we were in a position to start motorsport back in the park.
The great thing is it's so close to the capital.
It's brilliant. It's the greenest motorsport event you can possibly have. There are so many bus routes in here, train routes in here. Everyone can come and watch an event here without actually using their car.
So what would be the actual plan? Sadly the complete circuit doesn't exist anymore, but you can run a sprint. Explain that a little.
Yes, unfortunately the old circuit has gone. A lot of building and changes have been made since it last ran. But the sprint circuit we run is a little bit of a combination of the old circuit, the very old circuit, and the, shall we say, the 70s era, 60s and 70s era circuit, and a couple of little links in between. But it gives us about 700-800 metres of track, which any competitor that's been here will tell you is quite exciting.
So we'll have some good action, but the plan is also to have a festival celebrating the great days here as well.
Yes, the idea is that we're going to run for 2 days on the bank holiday weekend, so it's the Sunday will be, shall we say, more a traditional clubman type meeting, and then come the Monday we're going to go historic, and then we're going to have the older vehicles, but also some of the more interesting modern vehicles as well.
Now what will it take to get this up and running, because funding's always a problem?
What it takes is a great deal of money and a great deal of effort, as you well know, and because we have a one-off use essentially as far as our contract will be concerned with the council, we have to raise a fair bit of money to get the basic infrastructure in place. There's a little bit of tarmacking that needs to be done where the track has degraded since we last used it. There's a requirement to resurface there, and plus obviously there's a fair amount of Armco to go in, all be demountable, but it all costs money, and that's the key for us now, is we have to raise an amount of capital to get those infrastructures in place before we can really plan the rest of the meeting.
And what your partners get, if they come along and join in with this and help you? Obviously a big crowd and a sense of occasion too.
Yes, that's certainly what they'll get, and our plans are such that we will have hospitality units in place, and they will receive preferential deals with the hospitality units, so they can come and entertain their customers here. The beauty of Crystal Palace is such that it's very much a village fair type atmosphere, if you like. A bit of a garden fete, and the paddock's open, and everybody can wander around and see the cars, talk to the drivers, so it's certainly not elitist in that regard, and some of the drivers are maybe a bit more interesting than some of the cars in some cases.
Not elitist, but certainly unique.
Certainly unique, and this when we ran before, it was starting to be known as the Clubman's Goodwood, and the atmosphere was very much a friendly atmosphere, a clubby atmosphere, and that's what we're going to try and replicate again.
So what's the timetable now?
Well, the timetable is that we need to put in place a certain amount of sponsorship before the middle of this year, so we're looking at sort of July time as a deadline for that, and once we have achieved that, then we will move forward into the main planning and the detailed planning of the event itself.